Hey there, everybody. Oh my. This is why we do a countdown. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Nick, for introducing us. You get the first word. Everybody, welcome to Perfect Execution. This is episode 8. We have got my lovely co-host below me, Nick, who you just heard from, and Manny. I'll let you say hi if you'd like to speak.
Yes, hello.
And of course, we're joined by Luci, who I'm sure all of you know. Thank you all for joining us. Luci, would you like to introduce yourself to your lovely fans in the chat?
Hi guys, I'm Luci. I'm the scout analyst for G2 Esports.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us. We haven't gotten to see your team play yet, but we will be talking about them. And of course, we'll be talking some about the other teams that we have seen today. This is a world show. We do some crazy stuff on here. You'll get to see some of that just in a second. But essentially what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about G2. We're going to be talking about groups. We're going to be talking about who's going to win Worlds. Is it going to be Top Esports, or can G2 take them down? We'll be playing some fun games. We'll be doing analysis. Actually, we won't be, because that's not our job. But luckily, we've got one with us. So thanks again, Luci, for joining. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it. Let's go ahead and get into some questions. Nick, do you want to start us off? I know you have some thoughts.
What's up? So first off, all you guys in here, thanks for stopping by. Make sure, if you're not following us, drop a follow. We're actually 3 away from affiliate on the channel right now, and we're making basically daily world shows with guests. So that's awesome. But yeah, Parks forgot to do the plug. So picking up a little bit.
Sorry, I got distracted. Someone cut me off before I even started.
Okay, but let's we're gonna jump right into it. So Luci, from your Twitter, I know that you said right now, and you told us, but you're back at uni, right?
Yeah.
So it must be nuts you're at university focusing on your work, and you're also helping the team still, right?
Yeah.
Or at least you did, maybe before classes start. How has that been like for you?
For me, it's something that I've kind of had to sort of balance ever since I started esports. I started esports just before university, so while I was doing my university entrance exams, or what we call in the UK A-levels, I was actually just starting out as an analyst, and I have been studying alongside esports basically my whole esports career. So for me, it's not anything new, and at this point I think I'd say I'm a master at planning my time around it. But the way it essentially works is I would go to uni or focus on uni 9 to 5 during the day, and then in the evenings at night time, and mostly in the weekends, that's when I will actually do my esports work essentially.
So for do you have something?
No, go ahead.
So for Worlds specifically, like working with them in China with that time difference, I mean, I'm guessing you just kind of, like, what capacity have you been working? Have you just been like, here's some scouting reports or something, and do whatever with those, or?
So the way the analyst department, I'm just gonna call it in G2 work. So it's myself, Noodles, and Duffman. Duffman is obviously the head of analysts, and he's on land in China with the team, and he always has been in Germany as well. Myself and Noodles sort of work remote, so I work on the scouting, so like the opponent side of things, doing the reports. So I'm the wordy type of person, and then there's Noodles that does our scrim data and sort of the coding side of things. So for me, I only focus on the opponents we'll be playing. So for example, when we had our group draw, we pulled out Machi and Suning first off. So my job was to get the reports done on those two, basically as quick as possible. I got it done in within 4 days or so. And again with Tin Liquid, when we drew them after play-ins, my job was to scout their whole play-ins and basically get the report stuff ASAP. That kind of took me, I actually got that done within 1 day, so they were able to get it the next day.
So I think the more appropriate question is not what is your timeline, working and uni. Do you sleep at all ever?
Do you know what? I actually sleep too much for someone. I think last night I slept 10 hours. The night before I slept 11 hours. Sleep is pretty high on my priority list. I'm not gonna lie to you people. So yeah, I find the time. I don't know how. I just find the time to sort of do everything that I want to, pretty much.
I guess you're just very efficient then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty impressive because like, esports people sleep 5 hours.
I could,
Not
I
10
could,
or
I could never
12.
do that. I could just never. I was never that person. Even when I was younger, I couldn't. But if I do have like a deadline, then also I will like put all my time and my effort into it and
True.
to achieve that deadline, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to kind of go along, the study and esports side, you are studying pharmaceuticals, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, pharmacy.
Okay. And so something that I found interesting was kind of like what you've said before on Twitter and stuff, is that, obviously you're studying for this. It's kind of interesting to see someone already having like the next steps post esports, I'd say. Do you see this as kind of like, do you know many people that have like something else going after esports or like during esports? Because it really feels like people just kind of go all in on one thing, and it's like, oh, I want to be an analyst to then become a coach, or they have more of like this in esports trajectory, I guess.
I think I'm kind of a special case in that case, just in this situation, just because for me, like esports was just a hobby and something that was like just wanted to get into kind of for fun because I had an interest in it. I never expected for it to blow up for me to such a large scale. Like getting LEC was one thing that was a bit like a huge milestone for me, but then also getting onto G2, that's the biggest step you could potentially make in Europe. So it was something that was definitely not planned. But even when I was just doing this as a hobby, but like my mum would sit me down and say, Lucy, this is a hobby. You need to focus on your studies first, like studies are what's going to get you in life, So I kind of agreed in that sense because I didn't know where esports would take me. And for me, that was always an uncertainty. So I like having that stability of a degree or something like in case, esports doesn't work. But I do know other people that, for example, do have degrees in esports, but their degrees are more suitable for esports, shall we say, in computer science or, like coding or mathematics or game development. And then I have the completely like different end of the spectrum with pharmacy, and there's basically no overlap between the two. So I'm in a very unique situation, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I feel you on having a like weird esports degree.
Yeah.
And that was actually the question I was gonna ask, because like I don't use mine for anything. There's no reason why I even got it at this point. So like on one hand, great, I have a degree, but on the other hand, it's totally useless. Where do you find the value in that? Like if you're going to continue in esports, and also how are you doing pharmacy and then analysis? Because I would have expected like, oh, I'm like a math major or like a stats or like physics or I don't know, just something like that. So pharmacy is very different to me when I think of analysis specifically.
No, it definitely is. And, when I was back in ERL, I would do like some data stuff. But again, it was all very manual. I don't know how to code. Even to this day, I don't know how to code. Will I learn how to code? Probably not, no. So like, let's be realistic here. I just won't. So I think the lack of overlap between pharmacy and analyzing kind of made me develop a special skill set, in that I wouldn't do the data like analyzing and the data coding. I would rather do the stuff that I could do with the skill set that I did have. So the actual looking at a game, noting down and analyzing, behaviors and stuff like that. That's kind of the skill set that I transfer between the two. Just being able to look at something, whether data or patterns or just anything like that, and being able to see a trend in them. But yeah, it's a special thing for sure. And like I said, esports was for me a hobby, so getting it to this level is like still a major achievement for me, and it's probably my proudest accomplishment in life. But yeah, I never knew when esports was going to take me, and I was prepared last year to retire before G2 made me the offer. So it's funny how things work out, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone in chat mentioned Luci. Like, first of all, it's like Luci's so smart, and it's like, imagine winning the LEC twice as just a hobby, which, you know, I think that's probably the
It's like,
biggest
whatever.
humble flex I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, you know, it's just a hobby for me.
It's
You
just
know,
it's just something on the side for me, you know.
yeah, no big deal. No,
So
that's awesome.
you said something that really interests me. So we are like journalists, right? So before Worlds, we'll like do VOD review to like learn about the teams and all this stuff. I mean, like Parks over here is like hard stuck silver for 10 years or whatever.
One second, I think
really
the volume is messed up. I'm just sorry, Nick, you're not coming
Just
in.
mute him. Just mute him. Yeah, it's fine.
I have the control.
You good, man? But
No.
okay.
Continue.
So I actually do have a question. So when you're looking at VODs, right? What exactly are some things that you're looking for that like people like us who are maybe, you know, we're not watching VODs to study the opponents like in for competitive purposes, right? We're watching them so we don't look like idiots when we like interview a player and don't know anything about them, basically, right? So what are some things that you look out for specifically when you're like studying opponents and then doing all of that scouting?
Generally my approach to this, it might, obviously this is like my approach, and I'm not saying my approach like would fit everyone, but the way I do things is I literally just look at a game and note down everything that happens or anything I notice without looking for something specific. So for like I would watch a game from minute 0 until say minute 35, and I would just note down in my handbook like everything that I see happen. So for example, if there's a lane swap, if there's a Herald fight, if there's a Drake fight, if they're like grouping around mid wave, blah blah, and I will do that for X amount of games. For regular season, it was the previous 4 games. For Worlds, for example, for Machi and Suning, I did it for the past 9 games. So it depends on how many, and I would just note down everything that happens in those games, and then at the end I would look at all those 9 games and I would highlight the common themes. For example, all the Heralds, all the Drakes, and so on. And then I would go through and look at all the different colors and see if there is a trend between how they play against basically those 9 games or X games. That's how I do it, just because I think for me, I'm a very like visual learner, and I learn through writing down. So if I write something down, it's easier for me to remember. And same with colors. So for example, when I highlight pink, for me indicates a Herald, and it's just something like very easy for me to pick up. For people that are not doing this competitively, for example, I think the things that you guys can like look out for specifically, or something that's like very easy. The Heralds and the Drakes, very simple objectives. They kind of dictate the game right now. That's why I think I'm not a big fan of the meta this season, just because it's very one-dimensional with so many objectives being spawned. But also, for example, for Worlds, it's important to kind of notice what player the team is kind of putting resources in. Sometimes it can change between like a team putting resources into top lane early, but then late game it's like all about the bot lane, for example. But it's still important to sort of notice where these resources go, and you can kind of tell who the team plays around basically from that.
Awesome.
Okay. It's one of those things where it's like the answer is kind of right in front of you, right? There's not necessarily this like magic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I look at the exact spawn timers and I time. It's like, no, it's just like.
Obviously, this is just like my method to
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
madness, because this is what works for my brain. I like clear, logical things and thinking, and colors, but obviously that may not be for everyone else. So
Yeah, I would just add real quick that I did some collegiate coaching, like a few years now. I would also write everything I would watch from any sort of game. Granted, I probably had no idea what I was looking at, especially then. Like, I think I know a little bit more about the game, but so I don't think it's that crazy. But I do think, obviously, you know, it'll change with everyone, of course.
I mean,
how
this
they
is something
review
that like,
or, you know.
yeah, exactly, and it comes from experience as well. Like when I first started this, I was like, what the frick am I meant to be looking at over here, you know? But it was like working through players and coaches and like people that did have experience, and I did get guided a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of help from all my previous teams and all my previous coaches, especially George, who I think was on Moving Star Riders, and Kais, who was on Origin this year, and I had a lot of help from them as well, just sort of guiding me in the direction. So everyone has to start off from somewhere,
Right.
and that's just what you do with it.
And then you land
okay.
in G2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do one more question, but then we're going to move on to a fun activity. But I think Nick had one more thing that he wanted to ask before we end up doing that.
So the last question I have for you, it's kind of, I kind of want to see where this lands, because I'm sure a lot of people, or like the big thing is like you are working with G2, right? You guys are just winning everything in Europe. Did it take an amount of time for the players to, and obviously, you know, the people over there, they're really kind, but did it take some time for them to like gain your trust or anything? Just like coming into the team, being pretty young, I guess, comparatively to them, was that just kind of something like you had to navigate, or did you feel like you had to do that at all? Or
Just specifically for G2, yeah?
Yeah.
I think for G2, that wasn't really the case, just because I don't work directly with the players. So the information I give doesn't go directly to the players. Maybe if it went directly to the players, it would have been a different story. But all my work goes through Duffman first. So I send all my work to Duffman, and then Duffman decides what to do with that work and how to present it to the players. And obviously, Duffman has been with the players for years now. I don't know exactly how many. And at this point, they trust him, you know, they know that what he says is word, and you have to listen to him. So I didn't experience that just because it wasn't me dealing directly with the players, but rather it was my work going through to Duffman, and then Duffman going through to the players. However, in previous teams, I was still quite young, you know, relative, and it was a case of, you know, earning the coach's trust, I guess. But you did that just through like interactions together and just through work together and etc. But nowadays with G2, I had a very smooth transition just because I had Duffman there as the middleman between my work and the players.
Okay. I think Parks.
Yeah. So we're going to move into a kind of a rapid fire question segment, where I want you to answer everything as fast as you can, the first thing that comes to mind, and you can provide like whatever your initial reasoning for choosing that is. Like, why did it pop into your head? That's what you can say.
Okay.
This is going to be, it can be anyone on G2, any of the players, or like Grabs or Taco or Carlos. It could, you know, any of them.
Is it only
right?
G2 people? Yeah, it's only G2
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if there's like
God,
there's a
okay.
perfect answer, like if it's Foxdrop for something, like, you know, like we
Okay.
could maybe let it slide, like, but you have to have a real good reason.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you know, keep it to G2 if you can. So yeah, and just super fast. All right, which player is most likely to be voted into political power in the future?
Luco.
Who? Oh, Perks?
Perks.
Or why?
Perks.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like if he's truly passionate about something, like he will like what's the word?
Dedicate
Like
himself?
dedicate and like vocalize his opinion to everyone. And if he like truly does believe it, I think he like will convince people into his side, basically. That's the only thing. I just think he's very like he's a very good like leader figure, I guess.
Which player would need the most help setting up a bank account?
Sorry?
Which player would need the most help setting up a bank account?
Jankos. Man's like 25, but I think he'd still need help. Jankos.
Which player would be the most helpful partner in robbing a bank?
Wonder.
Wonder?
Yeah, because he's like so freaking tall. Like, worst comes to case, he just fucking like carries you over his back and runs away. Like, it'll be actually so free.
All right.
It would
I thought you were
actually be
gonna
so free.
relate that to WoW, like a WoW raid. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
raids,
No, no.
bank robbers.
got-
No. He's
Man's
okay,
freaking,
yeah.
he's fucking tall, man. He can knock out anyone most likely.
I love it. All right. Which G2 member is most likely to get lost in China on a team outing, like a little kid in a mall?
Jankos.
Fair enough. Which player's Twitch chat would score the highest on a test?
Oh, I'm gonna say Mickey.
Okay. Do you have any reason for that, or just kind of an assumption?
I mean, Jankos' Twitch chat is very special, like he is. Wonder never streams, so technically he's like 0. And then Luca is kind of in between. Same with Caps, but I feel like Mickey has like the real like golden eggs, you know, that like they're actually intellectual and they like actually ask like seriously good questions and like they want to know and like get to know him deeper and stuff like that. I think Mickey's like the hidden gem of Twitch streamers.
Nice. We'll have to check him out. If you were too busy doing work for G2 and forgot that you had a test, which player would you help, or which player would you ask to get you to help them cheat for you? Jesus.
So which player is the smartest, basically?
Or which one could help you
Which
cheat
player
the
you
best?
trust the most? Yeah.
Maybe they have
Which player would I
experience cheating.
I don't feel comfortable choosing any of them, to be honest.
None of them.
None of them.
You take
Like-
the L.
Or Grabs
Just
would be
gonna
an
take
option,
the
or
L.
would he just
Yeah,
yank
you
it
said
away?
players. Otherwise, I'd like pick Grabs
Well,
or
pick-
Duff or
yeah.
someone, you know.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
okay.
Yeah, you can pick.
Alright.
I'm just saying players because I
Yeah.
don't know, it's easy. You can pick anyone though. All right, so Grabs.
Yeah, it could be
or
Grabs.
Would you rather solicit help from one of them or from your Discord?
Discord. My Discord is actually so smart. I have people from like all different kinds of degrees and specialties. Like I would actually trust them with anything.
Nice. Congrats. Y'all made
Pog,
it.
that's
They're going off in the
Everyone's
chat.
going- Pog. Clip it.
Which person on G2 would you trust to babysit your kids like in the future? Or Duff? Okay.
Duff. Let me explain. Just because he has a little niece, and that
Okay.
like if he's like used to being around his little niece, for example, then I can I can trust him basically.
Nice. Good job, Duff. Okay. These are the last 3 are a little bit different. They're a little longer,
Okay.
but you and the team win an all expense paid vacation around the world, but there aren't enough tickets and you have to leave one person behind. Who gets left behind and why?
This isn't for like a league vacation, right? This is just a
No,
normal
just-
vacation.
Y'all are just on
Cap.
vacation.
Yeah,
Caps.
normal vacation.
Caps.
Rip.
No, let me explain why. Because the kid will not like get the full vacation. He will just complain the whole time, like, I want to go home, I want to play League, you know? Like, all he does is play League of Legends, and he would not appreciate the vacation to the maximum capacity.
Oh man.
So I'm actually doing him a favor, because I know how much he likes League.
nice.
Rest in peace.
And
That's
his
good
orange juice.
And his baked beans as well.
Baked beans? I did
Oh,
not know
yeah.
that one.
He has
Good.
like a stack of baked beans, like in tins, like next to his desk, back in Germany. I was like, Caps, what the frick are you doing?
Oh my god.
He just likes his baked beans. I don't know.
Good to know. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. All right, so you're out getting dinner with a friend and you remember that you forgot a paper that's due in an hour. Which G2 member do you make write your paper for you?
Duff, for sure.
Duff, okay.
Duff,
I'm,
for
I'm,
sure.
I'm definitely sensing some like themes around the players versus stuff.
Players are children, and then the staff are the adults. So anything for fun is to do with the players. Any like serious like topic, I only trust the staff members with. Either Taco or Duffman.
All right. Oh yeah, I could see Taco helping out.
Yeah.
All right, so the last one. The year is 2030, and the future is a post-apocalyptic wasteland, which is rather believable at this point. You need to assemble a team and leave to the next town for shelter, but you can only take 3 G2 members with you. Who do you take and why?
Let's say players.
Let's say
Three
players.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't want you to just say Duff again, because he's reliable.
Yeah, no.
Grab
Okay.
it, Taco.
Taco,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. It would have to be Wonder because he's tall.
Because he's tall.
He's tall. Jankos because he can be like the bait.
I knew
Like
it.
if we have a, like we need a bait. We need a bait. Like Jankos would be such a good bait. He's so loud. Just like let him in the opposite direction and like they all chase him. It'll be Jankos. And then I don't know. I feel like Luca would complain about everything. Caps will be a lost little kid. So I'll go with Mickey.
All right.
Maybe he
All
can
right,
bring
fellas,
his
clip
Twitch
it.
chat with him.
Yeah. True.
Oh, man. Thank you.
If you won the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, make
So,
it
yeah.
one draft.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Was that the last one? Yeah, thank you for that.
I feel like I really learned a lot about the team. This is how we journalists do analysis, by the way. We just ask questions that have no real basis, and then we like try and like make big stories out of them. So yeah, thank you.
Sources tell us
Welcome to
that
our world.
Jankos
Caps
I
really
mean,
likes League.
He loves League. But someone did say about the vacation one, maybe Wonder because he couldn't raid. And I didn't think about that. So that actually maybe could have been a good answer.
Both
Because
of them.
he could not go without
Yeah.
a raid. He's still raiding in China.
Oh
So-
my goodness.
Oh, no doubt about it.
No doubt.
Jeez.
Oh,
that's
that's
impressive,
great.
honestly. His dedication is
It's real dedication, actually.
it's
No.
quite admirable. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, and we'll get back in. We'll get into some actual worlds breakdown in a second. But first, we're going to play a game. We're gonna do a scavenger hunt, and so let me explain the rules. I imagine. Do y'all have scavenger hunts in the UK? I feel like maybe that's a dumb
Oh, yeah.
question, but okay.
No, I think, yeah.
Didn't Pabu not know what it was?
I don't think Pabu really knew what it was. We did this with
Yeah.
Pabu.
That's what Pabu didn't know it.
When I think of scavenger hunt, I think of like the Easter eggs around Easter. Like you have to go and find the little
Yeah,
eggs,
yeah.
like they scattered around the garden, for
Okay.
example.
This will basically be like that, but instead of Easter eggs, I'm gonna ask you to get 3 items. Wait, let me remember what they were. Okay, I got it. So essentially, I'm gonna give you 3 things or 3 like topics, and you literally just go anywhere in your house and grab whatever you think fits that. So like if I gave you like Rabadon's death cap, then you would like just find a hat and you'd be like, this is my death cap that I have at home. And you have to like explain it, and then we'll like give points to people. But and you're gonna have I think last time we did 1.5 minutes and everyone failed miserably. I'll like more or less give you 2 minutes. Just try and be really fast.
Okay.
So that you're not gone too long.
How about we do the 2 and then you can answer some questions in Twitch chat.
I'll talk to Twitch chat. Or you guys can even just Twitch chat, essentially either just ask me questions or ask questions that you want us to ask later, and I can try and choose some and I'll write them down. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna give you 3 items or 3 things, and then I'm gonna start the timer, and you go running, and you come back, and then we'll answer.
To come back with those 3 things.
Sound good?
Yeah.
And you're all 3 doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 3 things are, get ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
You've got Void Staff, Unicorns of Love, and any champion. You get to decide the champion. If you see something that reminds you of a champion, oh my god, my Discord actually just cut out. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
my Discord died at the worst time. All right, Unicorns of Love, Void Staff, and any champion. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Can you do a countdown?
Yeah, I'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Go. All right, I need to get a timer. I didn't put a timer on. I'm giving them extra time. All right. Okay, Twitch chat. Hello. It's just you and me now. This was always the plan. How do I make my hair look so good? Actually, I can answer that. So yeah, go ahead and you can ask me questions if you want, or you can write down questions that you want us to ask her later on in the segment. My hair, wait, is it frozen again? Oh, it's because I minimized it. I'm dumb. my hair looks good because oh god, I actually can't give you the real answer because you'll all flame me. Essentially, I just like take good care of it. I buy expensive products and I don't wash it too much, and I just use really nice conditioner, and got really lucky with my jeans. Thank you, by the way, for the compliment. I very much appreciate it. Wait, oh god, so much chat. I talked about my diploma. I have a diploma or my degree is in, it's like people management, essentially. I went to school for nonprofit management. So it's like, I took a lot of psychology and sociology classes about like how people develop, which I guess is somewhat relevant because it's helpful when I'm like trying to learn about players or their stories or whatever. So maybe I can relate to people, but yeah, it's for the most part, like the business side, the nonprofit side, like I'm not really using that here. How am I doing? I'm tired. I wake up at midnight and I go to bed at like 4 or 5 p.m. usually. It's just weird on your body to do that, but that's why I'm on like my 5th cup of coffee today. That's just why I've been downing it the entire episode. What is my favorite cheese? Oh my god. Okay, wait, are you asking that because queso's in my name? Because that's like a whole other story, but I do love cheese. Also, they have 3 seconds left. Wait, Luci actually got here.
Listen, yeah.
You literally got here?
I had to improvise.
Right. No, that's fair, because you're the only one who got here on time.
I raided 2 of my flatmates' rooms, still couldn't find anything, so I had to improvise.
So when Pabu did this, he literally got here with only 2 items, and everyone sat down and we were about to start judging, and he like jumped up, ran across the room, did like a somersault flip off his bed and grabbed something from the other side of his room, and then came back and was like, I'm on time. I don't know. You didn't see anything. So you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's improvised.
Nick is just taking his sweet time.
No, I'm back.
Whoa. Dude, is this Sushi Dragon? Your mic was like in front of your eye, like you have like a hat and a headset on. All right, Nick, you took 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Can you explain yourself first off? Because I think we're probably going to have to deduct some points otherwise.
So I will say it's because when I opened the door, Poppy like darted out of the room and tried to like go into my roommate's room, so I had to like wrangle her.
That's actually maybe fair,
it's
but
it's a fair one.
I don't know. Manny, do you have any explanation as to your tardiness?
Yes. I was frantically looking for a specific item, only to find out it was a Pegasus and not a unicorn.
Oh,
So, yeah.
That's probably still the best item. What are you talking about? All right. Wait, I need to answer this.
Go ahead.
I need to answer this one question because I started answering and then stopped. What is my favorite cheese? Honestly, it's probably brie, just because it's the easiest. It's just so good, and it's never like you're never not in the mood for brie. Like a blue cheese could be like overpowering, and like maybe you're not in the mood. Maybe otherwise, probably a good manchego. Anyway.
Hell yeah, manchego.
Let's get to the voting. So first, let's do. Can you tell her she has a Gnar on her bed?
I do.
All right, so I guess we'll do the champion first. So Luci, since you have your champion.
I mean, I actually had something else planned. So it's either or. It's a dead rose for Zyra.
Okay.
Oh.
You know what?
Okay.
I like that because I hate Zyra, and the fact that it's a dead rose makes me happy. So.
Wow. Yeah, that was actually the first thing I got.
Do y'all remember
you can do either or.
the old passive, the old Zyra passive?
Yes.
Yeah, where she would like
Yeah,
die and then just like
yeah.
spew something at you.
All right. Well, I think your champions are going to be hard to beat. Who wants to go next? Manny, are you wearing your champion?
No.
What do you have on your head?
I have.
Come on.
It's a unicorn.
Oh, okay.
Wow, are you kidding me?
All right. Sorry, I couldn't.
What?
I couldn't. All right. What's your champion, Manny?
Okay, so I have multiple options as well. All right, this is not a real weapon. So
oh
I'm,
my god, he just got a Swiffer wet jet. Thank you.
I could also use this and become Hecarim. So chat pick which of the two. I'm either Jax or Hecarim.
Someone
Oh,
please
Jax!
someone please take a screenshot of Manny right now. You look ridiculous.
I don't have a real weapon. That's why I tried to do this, and try to like.
Not gonna lie, I didn't get the
The
Jax initially. Not even
Alright,
gonna lie. I was like,
fair.
why are
No,
you
no,
just
that's
like?
fair.
Man,
Why am
wow,
I
that's
flinging something randomly?
Lucy's out here with dirty tactics. Like, oh, that's cool. I didn't understand
Or
it.
Yumi,
but nice.
you choose. You choose.
Pog.
Oh my.
Nick's
Or
like, I
Nidalee.
have-
This could be
I
Nidalee,
have
like.
corgi,
I think
know?
that could be Nidalee. Yeah, that could be
But
Nidalee.
you are gonna do that, aren't you, Nick?
Oh, but no, but put the poor cat down.
Nick, what's your champion? Corgi.
I've got like 100.
Oh my, you suck.
Oh wow!
I made it too easy.
We got a high roller. Over here.
I was trying to pick a champion, and then I was like, it's not fair. So I'll just let them do any champion. But then I forgot Nick has half of them on his desk.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think I'm gonna give it to Lucy though. For two reasons.
Guest bias.
She has a Gnar, which it kind of counteracts Nyx, but then she also has the dead Zyra.
That's
How does a Gnar
I mean, it was a dead Zyra.
Well,
It
I mean,
really
like-
was.
Like, you have the actual champion, she has the actual champion. You know. Look, I liked the Swiffer mop thing, but like...
Come
Bro.
on, Janitor Jax.
If you had an
I'm waiting
actual
on it, Janitor
lamppost,
Jax.
if you had the dedication to rip up the lamppost on the corner, then maybe.
Or those tiki lampposts? Like imagine I would just come back with them. If only
Alright.
I had a real weapon. Let me at him.
Let's go on to the void stuff. What did y'all have for void stuff? Lucy, you can go first.
Listen, yeah, this is the one I invaded 2 of my flatmates' bedrooms for, and I still couldn't find anything. So, I just got a Pringles tube.
Oh.
Because it's the closest thing to like a staff, and G2 is kindly sponsored by Pringles, so it's a great plug.
That's
Nice.
actually okay. That's a 300 IQ plug
That's
right there.
pretty good.
Even if I fail, I'm still on brand with G2.
There we go. I'll give you half a bonus point for that one for sure. All right, Manny, what do you have? I swear, if you hold up that mop again,
So this is originally gonna be my void staff, because if you think about it, it voids messes. Okay, all right,
Mhm.
hear me out. There's a mess, and you void the mess by cleaning it up.
I'm pretty sure the staff is supposed to be from the void. Do you ever think
Well-
about that?
They clean in the void.
But it
Are you
also-
calling them dirty heathens?
Is that a short joke? No, I'm not. Jesus.
I'm also, also PERFECTX is sponsored by Swiffer, so
It's not true.
that's
Don't-
definitely not true. I'm just
Don't
not-
flip that.
Not actually.
All right, Nick. Please tell me you have something better than Manny.
Uh.
That's toxic.
Cardboard tube. It's like a birthday
That
tube.
kind of looks. That's like just a longer Pringles can.
It really is.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Can you tell me how it's from the void, Nick?
Well, so inside of it was actually a K-pop poster for an album that maybe I ordered it, maybe someone else ordered it, and it came from Korea, so that's like pretty far away, and the void like pretty far
Pretty
away.
far. All right. Thank you. Nick, I'll try and award you the points for this one. But I should probably just give them to wait. You froze on the perfect face, by the way. You're still
You froze.
That has to be
K-pop poster, bro.
that has to be the new
best
pog
free,
champ.
though.
That has to be the new... All right, wait, maybe I have to give it to you for sure. Pog Nick, yeah. We need to make That's gonna be the
Emote.
first emote for this channel. The first custom emote once we get affiliate, which maybe we'll get after this stream.
Just hit it. I
Guys,
think.
go follow.
Almost.
Follow.
Go follow.
Um, All right. Okay, the last item. What was it? Oh my god.
Unicorns of Love.
Oh yeah, the Unicorns of Love. All right. Who wants? Manny, you can go first because you're already showing yours off.
Yeah. Fear our horns, right? Let's just start chanting. Look, it doesn't fit properly on me because head too big.
I feel like
Not brain,
it
head.
shouldn't count. It shouldn't count just because it doesn't fit him properly.
Fair.
It's nice, cute little unicorn. It's all smiling.
Wait, that's actually
They just smile
perfect
like
though.
this after
It's just
unicorn
too
beats our
perfect.
Esports.
I should have known Manny was gonna have a Unicorns of Love thing.
Yeah, for sure.
This guy's been screaming "Fear our horns" for the last week and a half.
Oh my god.
I'm still waiting for a free jersey, please.
You're gonna get a free tracksuit.
Oh god, yeah. It's like I want a free jersey. Even better, a free tracksuit. Oh no.
All right, Lucy, what is your Unicorns of Love representation?
Basically, I don't have one, but
Oh wait,
the closest I had was like similar to what he had, but it's not a unicorn. It just has little ears, and then it was either gonna be that or like my little toothless keyring because he has like
Oh,
wings,
okay.
but he's kind of no, he doesn't have a horn, but he has the wings. So the two put together, maybe not really, but that's what I had.
look.
That's what I had.
I think it's obvious to say that it's leaning Manny right now, but Toothless is maybe my favorite animated character of all time. And
He's too cute.
It's really gonna
He's
be hard.
so adorable.
I named my bike Toothless because it's black. I don't know. So anyway,
Wait. What?
it's black and it like flies. Yeah, and it has teeth, and so does Toothless.
Your bike
so it just
flies?
makes sense.
Hello? That's a cool ass bike, man.
All right, Nick, your thing.
Okay. Let me so it's
Like,
Poppy
But-
looks so scared.
she wouldn't
I
accept
like
them,
it.
but can you trust me that it existed?
Wait, what'd you say? She wouldn't what?
I had like a horn, but I don't know if I can like we couldn't use it. That's all I'll say. We couldn't use it.
I believe you. Wait,
That's
that's
fair.
actually so cute. Aw,
So yeah, this is what I got.
that's great. Thank you. Good job,
Okay.
Poppy. Honorable mention, but it has to go to Manny. He has a literal unicorn.
Yeah.
Also, you all
Oh,
three won one.
You're just kind of flexing on us now, like.
yeah,
honestly.
look. There's also, if I couldn't find this,
Manny, you
I
already
had
won.
like this back. No. I'm just, like.
He's just flexing
Yeah.
on us at this point.
Manny, you can't keep
This
double
is
dipping all of
arcade
your
Hekara.
items.
This is arcade hacker.
Well, Thank you for that. All right, so that does it for this. Everybody win. Everybody's a winner. You all got 1 point.
Wait. The last time we did this, I lost, and they
Miserably.
shamed the hell out of me.
Miserable.
Would you like us to shame you again? We could shame you again
No.
for last time.
Just say
Yeah,
now,
for last time, we need to follow.
All right.
now it's suddenly
I want-
everyone's a winner.
I want everyone
Yeah,
to go onto
everyone's
Twitter, look up the hashtag PERFECTX, type in
No.
at Asher is here _
Don't
and
look at
find
that.
and then go to media and find the picture of this dude's dead plant. 'Cause
Oh my
That's
God.
a representation for FlyQuest, by
And
the
then
way.
everyone in the chat, you guys can help us shame
Let me,
shame Nick as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
I should probably just find. I'll just find it and link it to chat.
yeah. That's too funny. Because and then the context to that is obviously we had Pabu, and we had 3 items, and one of the items happened to be FlyQuest. You know, I had an aquarium. Pabu found this little alpaca like pot with like plants on it, Nick came back with this decrepit looking thing.
I can't find
I
it.
can't even consider it a plant.
Can you?
It had like spider webs.
I can pull it up and share
Oh
my.
my god.
You can.
Uh,
That's probably not gonna work. Or I guess maybe we could try that.
We're just doing.
I found it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. He
I
found
can.
it. He's gonna,
I can
he's
put
gonna,
it. I can
he's
put
gonna-
it in the next thing.
in the chat so everyone.
No, I
okay.
can. I can
Yeah.
put it on this stream.
Is it gonna mess
Okay.
up if I just screen share, or you just screen share? Really?
Yeah, it would because
Okay.
we're in force. Okay. But
One
yeah.
sec.
Thank you for entertaining us with that, Luci. Little
tried.
shenanigans.
I really tried.
I mean, to be fair, I only brought 3 items and tried to find a way to use all 3 of them. At
You
all
got
3 different things.
creative with it for sure, yeah.
Yeah. I had to.
Alright.
I couldn't find anything for
Just
like,
for
jacks
for
or
everyone to
something.
see, here it is. I'm putting it on the stream.
Goodness.
Lucy, I can maybe send it on the Discord here.
Oh, I want to see this.
I just put it in the general channel.
In general, yeah.
I put it.
But it's supposed to be FlyQuest.
Just.
I
for
mean,
all you
it's
guys in
as
chat.
dead as FlyQuest's chances of getting out of groups.
Lucy.
Oh,
no.
I'll give him that. I'll give him
Lucy.
that. Like, he predicted the future, okay? He's a wizard. He predicts the future.
Oh man.
Okay, Pablo hit us
Game
with
against
the.
Top Esports.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should have posted that picture again. FlyQuest after that game. Hashtag PERFECTX. Oh man, I love
Anyway.
it because everyone said, the first 3 minutes were okay for NA, and then it all
Oh,
went
okay.
down.
It really
Yeah.
did
They
all
were
go down.
okay.
All right, so now that we're here or on this screen, let's go ahead. Let's talk about FlyQuest. Let's talk about groups. Let's talk about worlds a little bit because we haven't actually done that, and this is actually a world show.
Quote
So,
unquote.
perfect segue. Thank you, Nick, again for your dead plant. It's really serving us all well here on Perfect Execution. So I think the main focus, obviously will be Group A. I think we want to talk about that. I think we want to get a preview, kind of get your thoughts, your opinions on how that group should shape up. We haven't seen it yet, so it's still like really interesting for the rest of us. You probably already, you've seen into the future, like Nick with his plant. You probably know exactly what's going to happen. But first, we should probably just go over the other groups really quickly.
Yep.
So I guess starting with Group D, since they played first and we had the plant up, what did y'all think about Group D? Any big opinions from any of you? Top Esports looks like the best team.
Yep. I think top are my favorite to win the whole thing, to be honest. Just because I mean, aside from G2, obviously, no, just because I watched them during the regular split when I was doing VOD reviews, and I really just like the way that they played even then. So they're my favorites outside of G2. FlyQuest and Unicorns kind of expected. Same with DRX. No real surprises there today on my part, but I'm not sure what you guys think.
Yeah. Me being the Unicorn fan.
You got
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, me being the Unicorn fan, my bold predictions was they somehow beat DRX. They could have done better. I didn't like their draft. I'm not here to just talk about draft, but I don't like Jin into 5 tanks, or 3 tanks or 2 tanks or whatever, because Jin doesn't do well into tanks. He's just awful in that regard. But I don't know. I mean, FlyQuest had me for the first minute and a half. I was like, okay, all right. And then Solo was still in NA finals, so it's kind of unlucky there.
He was still in NA finals.
Rip. Ouch.
Yeah.
Nick, anything to add, or should we?
I mean, my group, I don't think there were any upsets today at all. I think everyone can pretty much agree with that for the most part. But I think Group D, the most surprising thing to me was really just, and I spoke to Gadget, and he was like, I think UOL showed that they are like they can be a good team, right? But I really expected them to pull something out with like the mages that he likes to play, because I think it was made pretty clear that that was something that they wanted to do to kind of shake up the group and like find an edge. So I kind of just expected them to come out swinging and like gadgets playing like Vagar or something. I don't know. It's like something in the bot lane, but they played pretty standard. I think they played like Ashe, right?
Yeah, it was honestly boring. Like as far as the comp, like as far as what you would expect from them, they picked Jin actually for him. Wait, yeah, you're talking about unicorns? They picked Jin, and then they picked Orianna on 4. When like I could have picked Orianna on 3, and then it's a flex. But oh well. Yeah, I expect that group to be on top, obviously, but did we? I guess the real question: do we expect anything different? It's just gonna be top DRX, and then that's it, right? Like we're not at all impressed. Like FlyQuest showing, they looked a lot better at the end of the game, but like they're not gonna beat DRX, right?
No, I put Unicorns of Love above FlyQuest just because I expected Unicorns to have like those spicy drafts and kind of like catch someone off guard. But from today, I feel like it could go either way at this rate, like Unicorns or FlyQuest being 3rd and 4th. But I do expect top 2 to be 1st and then DRX to be 2nd.
Yeah. Well, thank you for considering maybe NA will win a game or 2. I appreciate that. Let's look at.
It's not doomed.
Let's look at Group B because they were the second ones that played, which is kind of weird, right? We went D, then to B, then to C. Anyway, whatever. Okay, you said that there were no upsets. My main call out is Damwon over JD. It's not like an upset because you'd expect Damwon maybe to be better, but the way the game happened was like an upset.
Yes,
that shouldn't have happened.
So I guess since you're calling out what I said, I will say that I think I've told you I don't think it's uncharacteristic of an LPL team to drop a game even in that fashion during groups necessarily. I was not really like that wasn't like a huge shock to me. I was actually more shocked or glad, I don't really know how to say it, that Damwon seemed to really show up. And I think it was Nuguri who said that that was like, what do you say? Like that was like
their 10%
60 or 70% of Scrim Damwon. Like it's not even their final form at all. Yeah. So I think I was more impressed and happy that Damwon came out swinging. I think that JDG kind of greeted and draft a little bit. Forget what it was. Didn't they take like they handed over like TF Nidalee and stuff like that. The games felt like they're like 20 hours ago.
Yeah,
not for like a million years. But yeah, I was like, I think I'm not worried about JDG. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't call that. That's not really like an upset, in my opinion. Like I feel like people had the reasoning for why one team could have won that and why another team could have. It happened to be like a stomp or like stomp-esque game. So
I think that was a stomp.
That's how it shapes out.
So, Luci, what is your thought on that game and like the relative strength? Does it make you believe that maybe the LPL as a region was overrated a little, considering LGD and then JD struggled so much, or are you not really worried about it?
See, it has only been one day for one, and it has only been one game on top of that. So I think it's very hard to draw conclusions just from one game. I think particularly the fact that these two teams played each other first, and everyone expect them to be the first and second of the group. They kind of didn't know what would happen, so I think this was just a bit of a stare down. I don't think today would actually account for much until they actually play each other again for a second time. Assuming, they win, both of them win against Rogan and PSG, it would be the second time that they play each other that will actually kind of count and see who will be better or who is actually better between the two. But yeah, that game was a bit of a stomp from memory. I can't remember the draft exactly, but I wouldn't take too much away from it just from one day of groups.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, wait, what are your thoughts on Rogue? Are they gonna? Can they make it out?
Okay, so Rogue looked really good today, but they were against PSG, and this isn't play into PSG. This is pre-play into PSG, final PSG. So it doesn't really have a lot to say, but I did like Rogue's aggressiveness with the Kalista. I think it's something that Rogue will kind of be very niche for. I can't imagine any other team sort of doing that. So they'll have that in their pocket, and the same with the Malphite. So I think they like shown some creative picks and stuff that maybe they can, you know, kind of bring out against other teams. And they just looked really clean today. But again, it was against PSG. Not a lot to take away from that. But I really can't call it. I put them as third on my pick'ems, but I can easily see them taking second. So I won't count them out just yet, especially not after just before even playing Damwon or JD.
Manny, what do you got?
I was just gonna say, my bold prediction in our previous, like, episode 6 was that I believed that one of two, either Damwon or JDG, would not make it out of the group, but I had said it would be JDG. That was just my opinion, kind of like as a bold prediction, really. I had PSG maybe a little bit higher because I wasn't sure how Rogue would react, obviously, but I don't know. After watching this, I could see Rogue sneaking past JDG if JDG drops like another, like, let's say, I don't know the exact schedule, but if it's JDG versus Rogue and Rogue go 1-1 with them, I could see them potentially just being able to like sneak past, right? Aside from that, I mean, Damwon looks insane.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone in chat is ready for the Damwon G2 quarterfinal. I'm just kidding. I know, finals only. We only want 3-0 finals. I'm just kidding.
Oh, goodness. Manny. All right, I'm going to time this Manny out. I'm going to pull...
It's fine. I was on with G3 then. It doesn't...
True.
Yeah. It's going to be Luci diff.
It'll be a Luci diff. They couldn't get a wife buff, so they had to get me. That was the next best thing.
Oh my god. I love that. So, Group C, let's do Group C really fast, and then we can kind of look at Group A a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, really quickly, Group C, we saw LGD Gen G, really long game, kind of back and forth. Not really sure if we can be confident in either of those. And then TSM Fnatic, somewhat similar, not quite as long, but also Fnatic wasn't really in a commanding position until the last fight, and then they won. So, Luci, what were your thoughts about those two games and that group in general?
So the group in general for me was the hardest to predict, just because I could see any combination of two teams making it through. Maybe TSM not so much, but you know, I wouldn't be that surprised. The Gen G LGD game I actually didn't watch properly. I kind of watched on and off, and all I saw, it was a clown fiesta. From an analytical standpoint, it'll be a bit of a nightmare. So there's no real takeaways. That's the sort of game I would not actually have anything to say because it was just a clown fiesta. Fnatic TSM, I'm actually gonna not give Fnatic that much credit and just call out TSM for being dumb. Because Fnatic showed Evolution versus us in just before finals, and they pretty much we lost to it. You know, we kind of countered that for finals and we won. But this is no secret pick. I don't know why TSM think they're so cocky that they can beat Evolution unless they just happen to get some practice against it in scrims, but I don't see NA as a region doing the Evolution, so it must have been during scrims in China that they just played against it. They're like, oh yeah, this is nothing, we could just play against it in a real competitive situation. So I think it was less Fnatic doing good and just TSM not using their brains and actually giving Nemesis and Selfmade two of their most comfort picks. Mostly Nemesis because he was criticized a lot in the regular split of kind of lacking a little bit. So the fact that he got one of his most comfortable champions is beyond me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that breakdown. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That was my inner rant when I first saw it. That was my rant. Honestly, I just don't understand.
What are they doing?
The game finishes. Yeah, the game finishes. Lucy's writing a long tweet, and she's like, no. Not right now.
She's TSM somehow make it out of groups. They go up against G2 in the quarters, and she looks at her notebook, and it's like, TSM, no brains, do whatever you want in draft. They're not paying attention anyway. It's the only notes written down.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Group A, though. This is the only group that really matters, if we're being quite honest. You know, you don't have to give away any of G2's secret strats or anything, but what's going to happen with this group? You know, where is it going to end up? Like, what are the two teams getting out? Who's on top? Why are you going to tell me that Team Liquid's not getting out? Like, could you please maybe pivot to make me a little bit happier? But yeah, what are your thoughts on the group?
So, poor Machi. They're unless they throw a really big surprise, I think they'll be pretty much locked in fourth. I actually will give you a little bit of a ray of hope. I could see Liquid potentially making it out of groups. Potentially. But I think that depends a lot on Suning. So when I look at Liquid, I actually take away the nameplates, I could potentially see a middle of the packed EU team. If you take away the nameplates, kind of makes sense. They have 2 Koreans and 2 EU players anyway, so maybe that's why. But I actually think as a team they are very clean and very textbook. I would say I kind of compared them to sort of Origin 2.0, very textbook, very clean, very macro heavy, which made my analyzing them not very fun for me, but it had to be done. So I can actually see Liquid potentially making out of groups. But I think that depends on the level that we would get out of Suning. I actually put us down as second in the pick'ems, and
I have a little hint in there.
Like, honestly, like, I know the guys. Let's be realistic here. Like, they're gonna throw at some point. Like, if like they don't throw, it's not the G2 I know, and I'll like be calling them out for being imposters. So I expect us to lose 1 or 2 games, for example, and then end up being second. Obviously, I would like us being first, or I would like us being first. But second, I'd be happy with. Third or fourth, I would not mind either. So I guess I'm happy with either way. I'd be happy with like either result if you actually think about it.
You could go on that
like, no
vacation.
pressure for me.
Yeah, go on vacation. Like I'm actually, you know what? I'm just so happy with whichever result.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that inspires too much confidence. However, so my main question, and then I'll let Manny and Nick kind of, ask some stuff. My main question is, how do you look at Machi? Because right off the bat, you said poor Machi. And when I watched that series, as Nick said earlier, I'm not large brain, like spilling out of my ears, whatever. Like, it's very small inside my head. And so I'm just kind of like trying to gather a couple little things that I can from the PSG versus Machi game. But like, I didn't come up with a ton. And so they're really a big question mark for me coming in. I know that in the past, like the Flash Wolves and other LMS teams have been really good. And so obviously this is a new region. But like, I don't know. I have no thoughts about how good they should be. So how did you like analyze them specifically?
I think I kind of agree with them being a question mark, but at the same time, when I was looking at their previous game, especially against PSG, they played a lot of games versus PSG. I didn't find anything that stood out for me as overly impressive, whether that be in wacky picks like Unicorns of Love, or like skirmish heavy like the LPL, or like macro like the LCK, for example. I kind of look at them and I could, I guess, describe them as a jack of all trades but a master of none, I guess, would be the way of looking at them. So I can see them doing a little bit of everything, but nothing like hard convincing for me that they would actually be a team that would contest the other teams in the group. Obviously, I'm not saying that it's impossible for them, especially in this meta. One team fight can basically decide the game, so I'm not saying that it's impossible for them. Just when I was looking at them, I think they were less clean and they had less like crazy picks and less team fights and less superstar players, I guess, compared to the other people in the group.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do y'all have any questions
So-
about Group A?
Yeah,
Max.
so I do think it's interesting that you. So I guess I have two things. So you said it depends on the level that we see out of Suning. So I in my pick'ems, I had Suning first and G2 second, and it's kind of like I have a hard time betting on G2 in a best of one sometimes. At least
I don't
in week
blame
one.
you.
Yeah, so I think that things will possibly end up that way. But when I looked at Liquid, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the level of confidence or like composure that they seemed to have during play-ins, and obviously they got the reps in, right? At the very least, they're warmed up to the stage and stuff. I kind of have them as like my little dark horse. I would think I was like right after groups today, I was kind of talking to these guys about how I'm starting to think Liquid is maybe, and it's just one game out of everybody, so it's like whatever, grain of salt. But if TSM don't decide to log into the clients and play the game, if FlyQuest doesn't, like they're kind of in a very tough situation. But I do think that Liquid probably has the best chance out of all three NA teams. Do you kind of do you see that? And for me, it's just kind of like I actually see them as a team that could possibly start leveling up during groups even more.
I agree with you in that they're kind of NA's dark horse and probably their only shot of getting out of groups. I agree with you on that completely. I think in play-ins it was very easy for them, but I think that is due to having loads of veteran players apart from tactical. So obviously they would be used to the environment and the stage. But I also think that while play-in stage looked very competitive in comparison to what we've seen out of groups just from day one, I think that the way teams play is kind of different. So I think play-ins was actually a lot more, apart from UOL, who's kind of the odd one out in this, I think teams actually kind of played more slow and more methodical compared to the games that we saw today, where they're very skirmish heavy, fight heavy, fights left, right, and center. So I think Liquid had the freedom to show that how good they are at the macro side of things, but I would actually be very curious to see them in groups when they are put against Suning and against us, who do like to fight a bit more, to see if they will actually adapt to that and fight us head on, or if we'll kind of steamroll over them just because they do play that slow paced style.
That's the worry I have as well.
That's just obviously that's just my opinion of it, right? But that's
Mhm.
the way I kind of look at it. I agree play-ins was like really high level this year, but even then they were up against a lot of rookies and a lot of but still a lot of veterans too. But just from
Yeah.
group one, it's a completely different vibe to play-ins. It's a lot more bloody and there's a lot more like fiesta-y, and I'm not sure if they can take that on head on, or
Mhm.
if they'll struggle a little bit. That's the uncertainty.
Manny, there was a point made earlier about play-ins teams and like the level of information that they had. Did you want to talk about that?
Oh, with the
Oh yeah, yeah. So Sheepy made Sheepy, in case people don't know their EULCS history, is head coach of Unicorns of Love. It's like Sheepy and Unicorns of Love are one. He pretty much, to summarize, was like, GG, well played, DRX. It kind of sucks that the play-in teams are the first ones to play in the group. Like we don't really have, we're not asking for leaked scrims, which was kind of interesting, but kind of like, I guess, does that happen a lot? Because he was kind of saying like they were in a disadvantage because they were the play-ins. They showed a bunch of games, right? I think it was a total of 9 games, something like that, or 8 games, and they had not seen DRX. The last time they saw DRX was LCK final, and unless they had scrim information from other teams, they really didn't know what to expect from them. I guess do you see this as a disadvantage? Is this really like as he pulled it out? You know, how often do you leak scrims? I guess, like, is that really a thing?
So I kind of disagree. I agree that it puts the playing teams at a disadvantage, but I think the way he worded it is kind of off-putting because it's not like UOL is the only team that had to come in through play-ins. It was Liquid that had to come in through play-ins, PSG that had to come in through play-ins, LGD that had to like come in through play-ins. It's not like they're the only team and it's like them against the world. I guess in their group it kind of is, but at the same time you're not put in a unique situation.
Mhm.
And I understand, like I get them. You know, the last time that they saw these teams were a month ago, but there should be no leaked scrims. If there are leaked scrims, it's due to just mistakes, whether on player front or like a system fault or something like that. And I understand that it sucks, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be an excuse, in my opinion. I think the only reason why I would actually say it kind of sucks for them more is because they would be mentally exhausted from play-ins. So they'd be mentally exhausted from play-ins. They did the fight, they did the battle, they conquered, and now they have to battle again. Like that, I can see as being a disadvantage. But like I said, I do get the whole draft situation. But at the same time, when you have such a flexible team as UOL, I feel like that should not be a problem for you. If you had a very one-dimensional team, sort of like Rogue in Spring Split when we called them one-dimensional, and you only had one style, and it was very easy for teams, you know, to kind of counter that easily. But you don't. You showed in play-ins how like flexible you guys are as a team and how many wacky picks you have. So why do you not just repeat what you did in play-ins and just do that again? That's what I don't understand. Like I get maybe they tried something new today with the draft, but it didn't work out. But I think you have probably one of the most flexible teams in all of groups. What other bot laner do you know that plays AP bot lanes, for example? So I don't like. I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, I don't think he can use that as an excuse.
Yeah,
It's completely fair.
Thanks for that insight. Amanda, you had one other question, right?
Yeah, well, it was more like a couple of things that we touched upon in the groups. For TSM, I feel like, talking the NA side, I was happy that they banned Hylissang's Thresh. I think it's the first time they banned Thresh in a competitive game. That's obviously a joke, but it feels like they never ban the disrespectful champions. But I was looking at the draft and I was like, okay, we got Nidalee. Speak on Nidalee, all right. Oh, Broken Blade on Camille. Okay, all right. I turned away for a second. I was on Twitter. I was like, okay. I look up. Wait, they gave self-made Evelyn? Like, I don't know in what world. Like, I think before our prep, we said self-made will not see a single game of Evelyn. And of course, the one game he will was TSM. I agree with you on your take. I don't know what makes them so cocky in that sense, right? I feel like they kind of had learned that in their, lower bracket, in the G2 lower bracket run that they also pulled. But I don't know. I thought they could have played a lot better. They gave up a free Baron. It kind of, there was good things that you could take away from that, but I also feel like Fnatic was just kind of like interesting, and also the Genji LGD. I didn't like that match. Like Genji won, but I feel like you win that match and you're like, no one won. Like that's it, no one won. Like that group is still wide open. I feel like still everyone can take games from everyone. Like that's the only one. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, also the play-in scenario with TL. As NA, the real tournament was play-ins. We won it. We were the first team that qualified to Worlds. So yeah, that's that. I wanna end it on a good note for NA. That's our silver lining. We're the best wildcard region.
Why would you end it on that? We gave you this long soapbox, and then you call us a wild card just to sign off. Manny, you're the only person who I didn't say I have to mute you, and then now it's like 3 minutes left of the show. You make me wanna...
I just needed to get that out. It was a stressful morning being an NA fan.
That's actually true. Manny did take a nap right before the show because he was like, I have to clear my brain of what I just watched. So anyway, that pretty much does it I think before we go, Luci, I want to ask a couple very quick things again. One, what ends up happening with Group A? I know you were kind of trying to give me hope earlier. What do you think the chances are that Team Liquid makes it out? And if they do, you said it would be Suning, but you actually put them above G2 in your pick'ems officially. So would they be taking Suning's place, or would it actually be G2 that you think is more likely because of the best of ones?
Okay, so my two scenarios are Suning first and us second, or us first and Team Liquid second.
Okay.
Those I think are my two most likely scenarios. I think I want to give you guys hope. Like, it's not impossible for Liquid to come out as first. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not impossible. I just think it's very hard because I literally look at Liquid as Origin from Europe, and Origin, like, whenever we played them, we always did really well against them, and same with Suning, who I guess is like a Fnatic in this case. So I see us as on top, but it's not impossible. I just think it depends a lot on what Liquid will show tomorrow, or like what kind of Liquid will show up for groups. And same with Suning. It's not impossible, but I'd give each team, like, yeah, I'd give equal chances to Suning and Liquid getting out for now.
Okay.
Until I see what they play.
For sure.
Then maybe they'll like move around a bit, you know.
Maybe then you shoot the horse.
Oh,
You're
no.
just like, no.
I will take those odds. Potentially equal to Suning. I'll take that for sure.
Yeah.
So then, hypothetical question. Is it more likely that a European team makes it to finals, or that NA gets out of groups? If you had to bet money on one, you have to put down $100. What are you putting your money on?
What if just neither happen?
Well, I mean, it's quite possible.
Oh, you
but,
want to take the safe bet and not bet at all.
I'm just
telling
asking, like.
Yeah.
If neither
Okay,
happen,
I'll-
you just get your money back, nothing.
Okay, I will. I'm trying to do like statistics in my brain right now, but it's kind of not working. Ooh, I'll say EU in final.
Oh, more likely than NA out of groups. That feels pretty bad.
I'm trying to. I mean, we have 3 shots with how Rogue looked today.
We
you know,
have
it feels
3
like.
shots too to get
Okay,
out of
but
groups.
like,
You
okay,
said
but like.
zero chance.
Okay, but like, you guys have Liquid, we have G2 Rogue and Fnatic.
Oh man! All right,
That's the way I was looking at. That's the
shouldn't
way
have
I
asked
was
that
looking
question.
at it.
I should not have asked that
That's
question.
fair. That's fair.
I mean, you know, if Liquid make it our group, then I theoretically lost $100. So
There you go.
that's that.
Yeah, there.
So then, I guess other than that, that pretty much does it. Do you want to plug anything for yourself? Either, it could be G2 stuff if you want, or it could just be like other stuff. Maybe you want to plug your Discord, but it seems like probably 59 of the
Everyone's
60
already.
people here, they're already there.
Yeah, I think everyone in chat's already in my Discord, and I love them so much for being here. But no, thank you guys for inviting me and having me on. It's been really fun.
Yeah, for
thanks
sure.
for coming. It's a
Yeah,
blast.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much does it for us. If you don't have anything you want to plug, there's like nothing. You just want to plug.
Go G2!
Go
Woo!
G2. Okay. There you go.
G2.com/shop
Watch us
or what is it?
Watch us in tomorrow.
I figured. Oh wait.
Oh no.
Oh, Nick, do you want to tell the story or no?
Oh God.
Nick,
Okay.
Nick
so
has a story.
there was
Nick
a
has
story
a,
that we
it's a
were
bedtime
gonna
story.
try-
I know it's late over there. So.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to fit into the episode, but so my birthday is October 8th, right? Which is always during Worlds. So the last time TSM was at Worlds, it was like the last day of groups. It was the game against Samsung with the Crown Victor, that whole thing. So this was before I was working in like esports. My favorite teams were like TSM, Cloud9, So it's my birthday. I'm sitting down. I'm about to head to my birthday party, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch the rest of this Samsung TSM game before heading over. And so my girlfriend had surprised me with a TSM hoodie, right? So it's like it's the only merch of a team I'd ever owned at the time. It was like awesome. Like, wow, I've got my new NA hoodie that I can support NA's first seed at Worlds, right? And I'm sitting, and the game, they win that team fight, and they're about to go to Baron, and then like the lift to come and take me to my literal birthday party pulls up. It's like, oh, we gotta go and get in. I'm like, oh my god, but wait, they're about to end the game. They're about to end the game. And Double runs.
Yeah, it's the gamer, right?
Double runs up to try to kill Crown, and Crown one shots him. And I'm just like, wait. And the game just starts ending, and it's like, the lift's gonna leave in like 2 minutes, so we go outside, and it's like, okay, I'm going to my birthday party. Like TSM just lost, they're out of Worlds, and then it starts pouring down raid as hard as possible. It's like, so I walk into my birthday party, I'm like super soaked. Like Cloud9 ended up making it later in the day, but we didn't know yet, so we were like, oh god. Like, is that game not gonna make it out of groups? And I was like soaked and just like super sad. Yeah, that's a fun story. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of that.
Yeah, definitely hoping
Yeah,
to not
because
get a repeat.
we won't have hope.
I feel like after you lose hope on that one, you can't be disappointed anymore. I think you reached a peak disappointment.
No, move to NA. You can see, you can be disappointed every year.
Galaxy.
There's no bottom to the disappointment. It keeps going down. Anyway, that will conclude the show. Thank you again, Luci, so much for coming on. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. I will ask again for a follow. We have a bunch of other pretty fun guests that'll come on. Hopefully they're fun. But yeah, so give us a follow. We'll be doing a bunch more episodes throughout Worlds, going all the way through the end, following G2 all the way to the finals, potentially. Or if Luci sabotages her hardest, then maybe we'll just talk about them for only one more week. But and then we can all go on vacation. But thank you again, Luci, for coming. By the way, we have a code for Ateyo. If you don't know what Ateyo is, they make really great, oh man, he's not wearing his shirt. They make really cool clothing. It's apparel. It's an apparel company. It's really comfy for gaming. It's not like a weird thing though. They have like compression in their sleeves. Like if you buy like a zip up hoodie, it's like actually good for your wrists. There are no seams, so it's like actually great. They have really cool joggers. They also have sitters, so they're built for sitting down, so like the legs are more comfy. It's actually super legit. So anyway, if you go to Ateyo and you use the code PERFECTX, you'll get a free backpack, which is pretty cool. And you support us and them. They're a really small company. They just started up a few years ago, and they're really awesome. And we actually just did an episode with them yesterday, and you can find that on our YouTube. I think that's on our channel here. Maybe it's not, but
you can follow us on Twitter to be able to see it.
You can follow us on Twitter because we tweeted about it. But yeah, so that does it for us. Check us out on Twitter. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for coming. And Luci, thank you again.
And good luck tomorrow.
Hey, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
But yeah, that does it for us. So we'll catch you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.